Moving on, President Obama and South Korean President Park Geun-hye met recently here in Washington and called on North Korea to stop making threats and to rid the peninsula of nuclear weapons. VOA's Klein talked about it with Alex Villarreal. Let's start with some of Ken's report.
Recent weeks, North Korea has threatened to attack South Korea, the United States, and other U.S. allies in Asia to retaliate against stepped-up sanctions following a nuclear test earlier this year. Mr. Obama said the United States and South Korea are fully capable of defending themselves. President Park said if North Korea engages in future provocations, Seoul would make it pay.
So, Ken, North Korea's threats have been easing lately, but are we out of the danger zone?
Well, it's hard to tell because even the most experts on North Korea really have no idea what Kim Jong-un is thinking or what his government is planning or what's on their mind because it's such a closed society. But that seems to be the consensus at the moment, that North Korea, after that round of provocations, of threats, had to back down a bit. They had to find a way to ease off the threats and then allow, save some face and allow some room for some sort of diplomacy.
Now, President Obama has repeatedly said that the U.S. is prepared to use its full range of capabilities to defend itself and its allies against North Korea's threats. What does that really mean?
That's the classic all options are on the table strategy. And what the president means by that is that if North Korea is going to threaten things like a nuclear attack on the United States, which all intelligence that we know about shows they're really not capable of yet. They don't have a missile that can deliver that far. But if they're going to make outlandish threats like that, and threats against South Korea, and threats against the general stability in Northeast Asia, then the United States and its allies will be prepared to react with whatever means necessary. Although it's interesting, it almost seems that folks here in Washington are a little more concerned about this than people in Seoul, because they've been dealing with these threats for 60 years.
Now, if South Korea and the United States could have their ideal scenario, their ideal world in dealing with North Korea, what do you think they would want to see happen?
Denuclearization on the Korean peninsula. That's the main thing they want is for North Korea to somehow give up its nuclear program and to work with the allies, the U.S., South Korea, China, Japan, Russia, to find a way toward prosperity and toward feeding its people and being a more stable government that doesn't have to resort to these kinds of threats to get money to feed itself.
Now, in watching President Obama and President Park together, was there anything in particular that struck you about their comments?
I don't think there was anything particularly surprising, but I think, again, the whole purpose of it was to not only help the relatively new leader, the new president of South Korea, establish that that she does have the 100% support of the United States and its allies and other countries in this matter, but that President Obama is not standing alone, and that the United States is not standing alone either in saying this. So it was all about the solidarity.
If the tensions were to continue, or if they were to escalate again, what's at stake, not only for the United States, not only for South Korea, but for the world?
Well, certainly stability on the Korean Peninsula and and in Northeast Asia as well. What's at stake for South Korea and for China possibly would be the possibility of a huge flood of refugees. That's why China really bears watching in this, and both President Obama and President Park talked about the importance of China's role as perhaps the only country that North Korea listens to. As a bit of an ally of North Korea in trying to ratchet down these tensions and trying to not only put an end to this whole episode, but to try to prevent any future episodes of this kind.
VOA correspondent Klein taking an inside look at the two Koreas.